amongst the uncertainty that is Monday morning. I think it's the most uncertain Monday morning we've had since this lockdown's begun out a bit. But hopefully, it'll be a little bit more clarity towards what's going to be happening in the next few weeks or so. But like I said, like I always say, always expect the worst and hope for the best. That is, I think, the situation we should always put ourselves in and put ourselves in a position with also, because we have to kind of understand that, these things are out of control, and actually at least now there's some clarity on what we're doing moving forward. Might be some things that I might not disagree with, but again, I'm not going to express my opinion on it, but there's a lot of things I do agree with. So that's why I think it's important for us just to be positive and stay strong this time. But you're not here for a political lesson and stuff like that. I'm sure you can throw me a few questions if you want about my opinion on certain things also. But today I want to do a different sort of, I'm not going to call it a workout today. I'm actually going to do what I call more tutorials. Because I thought I've given you a load of workouts the last couple of weeks, and I thought, why not I teach you one or two new things this week? And I'll just do it in the space of 15 minutes. And hopefully by now you would have seen all my Instagram lives, all my Facebook lives, took a good part of it, and hopefully had some amazing value out of it. But what I want to do this week, guys, both on Facebook and Instagram, not on my Zoom classes, because at least then there'll be more for the workouts themselves, but for these social media live workouts, I want to provide a little bit more value and try and give you some hints and tips on how to train certain muscles that you might not be able to train at a gym. And one of the common ones I get asked a lot is, how do I train my back muscles at home? Now, first things first, you've got to understand where the back muscles are and how many there are, etc, etc. Now, when we talk about the back muscles, it's essentially a couple of different types of pull. So you've got a horizontal pull, which depending on the angle you put it, which I'll go through a bit more detail, will work different parts of your back. You've then got a horizontal row, or horizontal pull, which will be essentially like you would do like a lat pull down and stuff like that. Equipment wise, it would be best if you have like a resistance band or a dumbbell or anything like that. If you don't, I'm sure by now you'll be able to get resistance bands from the internet and stuff, because I've managed to get another light red one, so I'm sure you guys can manage to nab one as well. But this will be on here and stuff like that. But also I'm going to give you some bodyweight variations on it. It'll be tricky to bodyweight, but there'll be some variations on there also. But let's first understand what the back muscles are, where the back muscles are. Now, when we do forms of horizontal row, horizontal row, as I said, depending on the angle you train it, it's going to work different parts of your back. So, say for example, I went into an overhand row here, like a seated row or machine row, whichever you want to do it, or a TRX row, anything like that. What you could do then is essentially do that one there, and what that's going to do is really attack along my rear shoulders, my upper traps, my mid-back, rhomboid area, and also, regardless of how you put it, it's going to be using your biceps also. I can also do a horizontal row but in isolation, meaning that I'm working just one muscle, or essentially not moving any other joints bar my shoulders and stuff. So I could do a horizontal row like this, which a lot of you who have probably been doing my resistance band workouts would have seen that you can pull the bands apart, which I'll go through with you guys in a little wee bit, just give you guys a bit of an idea. If I want to do a row like this is going to work everything from my lats down into my lower trap. So it's going to be working down here into this portion down onto this one also, as I pull it in and squeeze my shoulder blades back in together. So that's going to be what I call like a low row, and I would say it's more better for your lats. Again, I can do that in isolation if I wanted to, so I could essentially have a resistance band here and pull it using my shoulders and almost what I call, like to say, abduct or bring my arms into my body to squeeze my lats together. But again, I'll go through that with you in a little wee bit with the resistance bands and body weight. Then you have got vertical rows, which is going to be, again, if you've got like a doorway, which you can, if you watch my resistance band videos, loop it in a loop. That's the most hardest thing of all. There you go. So even if you like loop in the loop, and then like to see what I've done in the past is loop it over your doorway, which I'll do it in a second for you, so you get an idea of it. And when you do like a vertical row, that's essentially put it down here, and that's going to be more onto your lats. So these muscles down here. So these are going to be your lats, low traps, mid traps, upper traps, rear shoulders, rhomboids sitting this dead centre towards here. And from there, that's where you can do those lat manoeuvres, really focusing on squeezing down there. Again, you can do that in isolation by pulling it straight arm back down there, which I'll give you guys an idea in a wee second. But first things first though, let's get you guys sort of an understanding of how to do those different rows. But let's start with body weight, because a body weight one is a very, very common one that I see people struggle with, or people who have got no body weight. How do you train your back at home with body weight? Well, very simply, what you could do is you can get 2 tins of beans or 2 cans of soup or something like that. You can lay down on your front, and from here, you can squeeze your shoulder blades back together. Even at body weight, this is hard. So from here, that is going to be working my middle back. Might not be the most conventional position to work your back when doing it body weight, but it's probably the best way of doing it because it means that you can keep squeezing your shoulder blades back on through. Again, like I said earlier, if you want to add some progressive overload, add some weight into it, you can just get 2 tins of beans and lay down on the floor and get through there also. Again, like I say, you get 2 tins of beans and do the exact same thing here, and acting as dumbbells, doing there, 2 tins of beans here, doing it like so. And again, you can act your dumbbells doing the exact same manoeuvre also. So that's one way you can train your back, especially your mid-back in isolation. If you want to train your lats essentially, what you can do is lay your head down, and from here, put it down to your sides. Come along, put it down to your sides. Now this might not feel like anything, but what this is going to do is going to practice you to utilise and get your back muscles to engage, or your lats to engage, when in a prone laying position or front prone laying position. So once you're in here, you can really focus on building some mind muscle connection, which is basically getting your back muscles to switch on into this position also. Like so. So that's another way you can train your back at home also. Now, the one muscle that we tend to neglect quite a bit of is actually strengthening our lower back. And by doing this one, you've seen this one many times from doing different classes. What you can do is strengthen up your lower back by doing a couple of Supermans. And those are 3 sort of body weight basics that you can do to work, I'll say, your back muscles or train your back muscles in at home. And again, if you want to add some, make it a little bit tougher, if you've got like an elastic resistance band that's similar to this, at quite a light resistance, you can just have that resistance band over your wrists and just focus on putting it down there. And again, what that's going to do, it's going to switch on your back, your lats a bit more, but it's also going to work on this muscle down here, so your lower traps. Now, we move on to the resistance bands. So, with the resistance bands, as I said, you can train. What I love about resistance bands is that it just gives you that opportunity to train your back muscles. And again, more importantly, it just gives a little bit more different variety. For this first one, I'm going to show you I'm going to do it as a few compound lifts. Then I'm going to show you in a few isolations, and then we'll be all but done. Again, if you're expecting a workout, I do apologise. I just feel like today, or at least today, I'll provide some value and provide some knowledge in how to train your back muscles in more of like a teaching sense on it. So if you were expecting a workout, I do apologise. You can obviously switch off if you wish, but my job is a personal trainer. I'm a coach. I'm not a spandex wearing guy who literally likes to jump around all day, every day long. I want to educate and help people. That's my job. So, with this deadlift one, or resistance band deadlift. Now, how you do it is entirely up to you on this one. You can have it as one resistance band, hold it here to make it a little bit more easier. So as you can see, I've set my feet on the bottom band, and all I've done is just focus on pushing my bum back, bending down, chest nice and open, drive through. For those of you who are quite regulars at doing deadlifts, especially with a hex bar, this will be very similar to a hex bar deadlift because you're able to pull your shoulder blades back better, as pulled in tight, and then going from there. And if you make it harder, then all you do is do what we all do with resistance bands. Just grab more of the resistance band, keep everything pulling back, thrust it down, sort this out, bring it back, bum goes in back, shoulders back, bum back, thrust through. And again, you can make it even harder by grabbing the two resistance bands, having your feet that same position apart. Same thing again, just simply hinging over, bum back, thrust, bum back, thrust, bum back, thrust. And that'd be it for the first one. So that's why I call it more of a compound posterior chain lift, which means you'll be working everything from your hamstrings, your glutes, bit your lower back, your upper back, lats, basically everything along your whole rear side. And that's why for me it's one of my favourite, it's been one of my favourite home exercises to do, is the resistance band deadlift. Because you can create some normality with the gym in the space of your own living room, or in my case, your own little shed. So that's your deadlift one. Again, if you want to add some variation to it, if you do fancy being a little bit fancy, you can do what I call a little bit of a. So once it's over the door there, like so, how you have your feet is entirely up to you, or your knees is entirely up to you. Now, depending on how you want to train your core is quite important. How you engage your glutes with this one's quite important. Like from here, you can do a split stance or bi stance, sorry, opposite foot. You can do a single arm, pull down row, where your hips stay square, brace tight, and you squeeze and shut up and back. So you bring that elbow down into your side. Let me show it from the other angle so you can hopefully see. Legs square, brace tight, and bring the elbow down into your back pocket. Again, like I say, keeping that elbow driving down to that back pocket, really squeezing into that as you come through. And then you do set number of reps and sets on one side, set number of reps on the other. At least then it sorts out any of those imbalances you might have in your back muscles. For the next one, as I said, all we do is like a lat pull down with resistance band, chest open. Make sure your back's not arching, so you don't get anterior tilt, posterior tilt, because that engages your glutes more, engages your core, but also when you pull, your lats, so your side back muscles, engage a lot more. Now you can do it as a neutral grip, as you can switch your hands over, do an underarm grip, or if you fancy it, tilt. Really focus more on the upper back squeeze this time, so you get a little bit of rear shoulder, but you get a little bit of mid back and just as much lats involved by doing it as a high row down. And again, you can do it as a face pull, so pull apart, working the back muscles there, working the shoulder blades through. Now what you could do then also is literally get into a hinge over position, so your bum goes back, and what you could do, make sure you've got a little bit less resistance, do it as like a little bit of a bent, straight arm, bent arm, pull downs. So straight arm, pull downs if you can try that. What that's going to do is just isolate your lats a bit more. A great little way to work that through also. Take that out of here, lovely jubbly. Now for the next one, what I probably would do is suggest using a door handle for this one. So what you're going to do is the same loop. Make sure nobody comes round the other side of the door to let themselves in, because that would be very, very awkward. Now make sure when you put this through, it's on this side, on that door handle side. Let me move the camera back a little bit because you want to see me for this one. So from here, what you could do is do a variation of rows here. So you could do a underarm row to work more your lats. You can go a bit more overhand row to work your back. So squeeze your shoulder blades back in together. You can do a little bit of a face pull. You can do a little bit of an external rotation. So get those shoulder muscles a bit more working and a bit more stable. like I've done with the other one. You can do it as a single arm row. You can do it standing up, brace tight, put it tight in there. Again, like before, you can do it as a overhand. Again, there's so many variations with the resistance band when doing pulling exercises you can do. And again, from there, that's where you can work so many different back muscles. You probably knew all this anyways, but hopefully it's going to give you to some of those who didn't really know some context and how to do it. And then for the final little bits, it's going to be using the band sort of standing up, essentially. I might just cover a small minority because it's only about a 15-minute brief overview of how to train your back muscles. And again, because we're doing a lot of push-ups, a lot of burpees and stuff like that, I think it's very important to go back to the fundamental basics of how to train your back muscles to improve your posture, to keep you less injury prone, or to get you less injured, because obviously with a lot of push-ups or a lot of push-based stuff, you can put a lot of overload onto the anterior shoulder, this muscle here, and not enough work on your stabilising muscles or your scapular muscles, which are your shoulder blades, back muscles. But again, for the last little bit you can do, with the resistance band here, you can do pull-up ups, work your middle back. You want to work your lats a little bit, you can. Put it down behind you, or do that one also. You can just do it as a single band at the top. Probably a bit more easier with the double at the top, but I'll give it a try. Like so. But again, it's usually easier with a double band. But usually when you put it over and down, up, down, you end up being more stronger anyways. And that essentially just gives you a brief overview on how to train your back muscles at home. As I said, the reason why I think this is this is probably the most important live I've done, actually, I'll be honest with you. Only because there's been a few times in the last week or so that people have been doing some of the classes with me and maybe just literally have put more strain on their shoulder or put more into themselves a little bit more. Not, basically they've still continued on, and that's a fair play. But I think what's important as well is you don't want to be doing things at 100 miles an hour and get yourself injured and set your progress back. You want to be doing things that's going to counteract those potential shoulder injuries and stuff, or any of those elbow injuries and stuff. So that's why I think to do those pulling muscles to help engage your back muscles or to get your scapula working is going to help you not only improve with your posture, it's also going to improve in your core, because when you are so rounded forward, especially if you're sat at your home office all day, or if you've been anything in this prone position, it's just nice to have somebody pull your shoulders back, because then by doing this, your core muscles actually engage a bit more, so then your planks and stuff like that will become a vastly lot more easier. But anyways guys, I hope you found that of some value, found that of some help and stuff like that. As I said, I just want to use this one as an opportunity to coach on one or two different things onto that one, and give you a few ideas on how to train your back muscles onto that. Like I say, I'm more of a coach than a spandex wearing, jump around, group class teacher. I'd rather coach people, I'd rather help people feel healthier, happier, fitter, stronger for the rest of their lives and stuff. That's what my aim is anyways. Anyways guys, as I said to you, I hope you found this a very, very good use. I hope you found it very, very informative, because that's what I wanted out of it. And all I'll say to you guys is, for those who are watching or will be watching, appreciate your time, appreciate your effort. Any other tutorials you'd like me to do, because I find these tutorials more beneficial than me jumping around doing hopscotches and stuff like that. Just let me know if there's any other exercise you want me to do to educate you via these lives. I'll be more than happy to do it. But apart from that guys, thanks for watching, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll hopefully see most of you guys at 5 o'clock for Lean in Quarantine. Apart from that, see you soon, wish you all the best.